Well, here's another Rant and Rave video for you, and this time we're going to talk about drones. Those of you that have been on the fence about upgrading, on the left over here, you'll see we have the Mavic 2. This is the Zoom, and it's the old tried and true drone, and it's been in use. I can't even think about how many hours are on that thing. Still the original props. I haven't changed the props on that thing. It's got so many hours on it. I guess I should probably look it up and find out, but that thing has just been through the ringer. Still going good. The one thing that we have noticed though are the batteries. The batteries are getting the old swelling. You can kind of see on some of these. Some of them are perfect, like this one here, nice and flat. You don't have any issues, but we do have some that are getting the old swelling. Yeah, let's see here. This one here is really getting the swelling. And you can see how these batteries, once they start to swell, they don't sit and seat really perfect in the drone, which that's a whole nother topic. And I'm sure you guys can Google that, but the swelling is definitely an issue. On the right-hand side is the new Mavic 3. Now, yes, it's expensive. Is it worth the upgrade? In my opinion, going from the 2 over to the 3, it is worth it, especially when you just eliminate a lot of the problems that you are going to have in the long run if you're on the fence about, before you purchase, do I get the 2 or do I spend the extra on the 3? Get the 3. There's just too many upgrades to this that, you know, the battery, for one, the way that they designed the new battery system, the way it seats in there, a little bit less to worry about when it comes to the swelling with the new batteries, is definitely the way to go. As far as flight characteristics go, the drone itself flies phenomenal, very, very stable. Speed is great. The camera system in the zoom is great. There's not a lot of negatives to talk about when it comes to the Mavic 3. So, you know, other than the cost, of course, you know, you're paying for it. If you're a beginner and you're just starting out and you want to get your first drone, there's nothing wrong with spending that extra money, because I'll tell you, all of the DJI products I can't complain about. There's a few issues in the earlier models that you can look at some of my older videos and we discuss that. But if you're getting into the drone hobby, if you want to call it that, there's nothing wrong with spending the extra money and getting the Mavic 3. Now, there are other cheaper options out there, such as the Mini and, you know, all the other DJI platforms. That's kind of one of the platforms that I would recommend. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get any kickbacks. It's just what I've found over the years. There's been many different drones, many different drones that we have tested, we've done R&D for, and I can tell you from personal experience, we've lost a lot of them from other companies, including DJI. So yes, there are less reliable drones that are out there on the market. You kind of get what you pay for. DJI is definitely one of the leaders when it comes to progressing through the long haul. And I mean, everything that you guys have seen, what we've done in the past, you know, developing special cases, and there's a lot of programs for the first responders. You know, first responders are finally able to utilize these tools without hiding behind the wonderful curtains that, you know, public perception. It's always been a problem with public perception because of the drones. And I fought for this for a long time, behind the scenes, trying to explain that there are so many benefits to using the drone and the open platform for whether it's for rescue, it's just everything, for fire to police. I mean, it's just such a great tool, and it can save lives. But there was just so much outcry from people worrying about, you know, invasion of privacy, blah, 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 blah. Well, I got news for you. Every time you look up in the sky and you see these little toy drones out there flying around, and you see a kid standing on a corner holding the remote control, is it him flying it, or is it actually the Trojan horse, and actually there's going to be somebody else flying it, getting the information that's needed? I can tell you that there's been many occasions where it's the person that's holding that drone remote control is not in control of that drone. So it's been a great tool. So you also have the infrared. I mean, the infrared, look how many lives that thing has saved using the infrared system on the drone. Is it a great tool? Absolutely. You know, it's just something that's economical. You can launch something that's very quickly. You know, for the first responders, they can get that thing in the air and they can start looking for survivors very quick. So, I mean, you search on YouTube, there's millions of people that have watched these videos, all kinds of them. There's hundreds of videos out there that have all these different FLIR videos and so forth where they've saved lives using the drones. So anyway, getting a little bit off track here, but those of you that wondered about, is it worth the upgrade? I would say yes. I'm going to show you a little clip. Yeah, we had the FPV, the DJI FPV. We went out there and played around with that, and I ultimately ended up getting rid of it. I was going to do a review drone on that, or a review video on that drone, but I ended up getting rid of it. It was a lot of fun. No, I didn't crash it. It was just something that I didn't, for myself, find it as useful day to day. I mean, putting the goggles on, and honestly, I was getting motion sickness. A friend of mine who's a pilot was playing around with it, and he got sick. Somebody else that we knew, who was actually a retired fighter pilot, was making fun of the fact that, you know, many of us were getting motion sickness, and other pilots, and he put on these goggles and got motion sickness flying the FPV. So we got it, all of us got a kick out of that. We thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, it's a great drone. It has definitely got its place in the market. But for me, the DJI FPV just wasn't worth the investment, and for what I'm doing. I found more enjoyment flying these than I did putting the goggles on and you know, going 100 miles an hour for 20 minutes. It just wasn't worth it for me, so I ended up getting rid of it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully that answers some of the questions. I know I was getting a lot of these questions about this, and I run into people all the time that recognize me from some of the other videos, and they ask me about the drones, and yes, I'm still flying it. Hopefully I can get some more content out on the different drones, but this should answer some of the questions that you have out there. Unfortunately, thanks to the wonderful restrictions that they've got out there now on everything, you're not going to see me flying a lot of these. There's too many videos on people flying it, and there's too much information, but I will give you my honest opinion about them and some of the things that I've experienced, some of the problems, and some of the great things that we've had. The Rant and Raves, you're going to hear it. We're not going to sugarcoat things. We're going to tell you exactly what we've experienced. And again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking with me all the years. Thanks for all the support. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It definitely helps out this channel, and we're going to get out more content on all kinds of different toys, not just drones and vehicles and whatnot, but everything in general. So, Rant and Raves, thanks again.